We're at the Broadband Properties Summit with Jim Baller of Baller Herbst. This is Ken Pyle of VOD TV. And Jim, you've got a whole program on Thursday talking about economic development, talking about communities. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
All right. Well, I've been involved in community broadband projects for the last 15, 16 years. And to a community, economic development has been the first, second, and third top drivers of the projects. It has been the core of successful projects, and it has been something that has been critically important in pushing the nation toward greater and greater advanced networks. And so it occurred to me when Scott DeGarmo of Broadband Properties invited me to put together a one-hour panel on economic development that this topic was much bigger than we could pack into 1 hour. And Scott agreed to let me put together a full-day program focusing on economic development, job creation, and broadband and the relationship among those. And now I can say one day is not nearly enough to devote to that topic. We put together a program with keynote speakers throughout the program. Every panel, every one of the individuals who's involved as a presenter is an expert in his or her field. Economic development is a multidisciplinary challenge, and we are going to have a conversation with experts from across the spectrum, from site selectors to education to infrastructure developers to community builders, workforce professionals, labor unions, and we're going to talk about economic development. Our hope is that we will create new relationships and mechanisms for ongoing multidisciplinary education, communication, and collaboration going forward.
Well, it seems like that'll be a great support infrastructure, if you will, but in the communities themselves, there needs to be someone there to kind of be that leader, to step up, to facilitate it, to get it going. Have you found that in your experience with economic development in terms of where people have had success?
I would say that as a general rule, to which I've never seen an exception, projects always need champions, and the more champions, the better. Mm-hmm. Those champions can come from many different walks of life. They can be a mayor of a city or the head of a utility or an educator or members of grassroots organizations. The projects that are most successful are the ones in which championing becomes contagious, and leaders throughout the community accept the challenge and work together to achieve the ends of the community as a whole. One way that we saw this was that during the last year, when Google announced its Fiber for Communities project, in which I was involved as one of their consultants, we got 1,100 applications from communities. That process, as well as the broadband stimulus process and work on the National Broadband Plan, caused leaders in communities across the country to take a look at themselves, to take a look at what opportunities they had within the community, what challenges they faced, who was there, who needed support, who could provide support. We've as a result of these processes, moved forward 2-3 years in our understanding of the role of broadband in our economy, in our communities today, and certainly going forward, because more and more of what we do in life will be based on the platform of broadband connectivity.
So it seems like right now you've kind of built an audience of at least 1,100 people or communities that would be interested in hearing the message you've got on Thursday.
Well, I think that focusing on economic development and job creation is not merely a issue of interest for 1,100 communities. It's an issue of interest for all of us. One thing that we all share is a desire for America to remain a great country and to be able to sustain the quality and standard of living that we've become used to. That's a challenge that is growing increasingly as the world grows smaller and more countries are able to do the kinds of things that Americans led the world in doing. And so all of us have a stake in that. Communities, providers of services, users of services, we all have a tremendous stake in working together as cooperatively as possible toward these ends. And economic development, as I said at the outset of this interview, has been to those communities that have been the most successful the key driving force that has helped them to organize everything else.
Well, Jim, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we are one community, so appreciate your time and good luck on Thursday.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.